Peace and elevation, family. It's your brother Mike X. Welcome to another clip from my YouTube channel, BruthaMikeXSpeaks. Please share, please like this video. I hope that you get something out of it. I hope that you will commit to listening to the end. I want to take a stab at the question that a lot of us ask. You know what I mean? Particularly when someone near and dear to us happens to pass away. You know what I mean? At the funeral services, at the wake, you know, that we attend in their honor, you know, and we meet family, we meet friends, we meet associates, you know, that we all share a connection with each other, and through, you know, that near one that passed away. You know what I mean? And the question is, you know, why does it take for someone to die to bring us all together, you know, again, you know? And we make promises that we have to do better. And then we go right back a lot of times to being disconnected, you know? And it's not the intention a lot of times, you know, for us to be so distracted and so distant from one another. You know what I mean? I get it. A lot of times we're so caught up, you know, with life, you know. I've been hearing the phrase, you know, life is lifing, you know. And we make excuses sometimes on why we don't give a greater effort, you know, to staying in contact with family, with friends, with associates. You know what I mean? And I know it's very challenging, you know. This society is being ruled and controlled, you know, by the corporate machine. You know, a lot of us don't have control, you know, over our time and how we spend it. You know, a lot of us are caught up working jobs that demand, you know, 40 or more hours of our time a week. You know, some of us work 2 jobs, you know, striving to keep our head over water, you know, financially, so that we can pay our bills and have a place to live and things of that nature. I get it, you know. And a lot of these jobs that we work demand so much from us, not just the time, you know, but they demand our emotional health and well-being, you know. We don't like a lot of the jobs that we're forced to work. And then when it comes time for us to spend a little bit of time, you know, after work or on the weekends, we're so devastated from the time that we had to spend working these jobs that we get caught up sometimes in all types of addictive behaviors, you know, addictions and addictive behaviors. Doing things that don't free us, you know, that don't lead to our eventual ability to move on into some enterprise of our own creation, in concert with those friends, that family, those close associates, collaborating and working together to build something of mutual benefit to all concerned, so that we can see each other more often. You know what I mean? So that we can commit ourselves towards happiness and joy, and growing abundance as we work together, committing our attention, our focus, our skill sets, in collaboration of building something new, you know what I mean, and important between us, that will allow us to not only enjoy each other's company and enjoy access to, again, the skill sets of complementary mastery to build an enterprise that can support us and help us to move on from the corporate rat race. You know what I mean? We don't believe in ourselves a lot of times as individuals, that we can live our lives in a way that will allow us to master a particular skill, that will allow us to move on from being a wage earner, and then, to collaborate with others who believe in themselves enough that we can work in tandem, or work collectively, to build our own enterprise, to build our own business. So we remain caught up in the rat race. We remain a lot of times caught up in the trauma bonding, in the misery loves company cycle. And then we start to degenerate into frustration, depression, over having given so many years to a job that we don't like, or anxiety as we get older and we look at our finances and we look at, we face the future, not sure when or if ever we'll be able to move on, to retire from the rat race. You know what I mean? I see a lot of times, man, because I'm very observant, as an empath, as someone who is intuitive, who practices an open-mindedness, who practices an observation, of society and the problems that we are confronted with, as someone who strives to be solution-minded. These things, I observe these things. And a lot of times I see older people, older than me, you know what I mean? And I'm in my mid-50s. In a mad dash for the subway or for the bus, looking not well, looking unhealthy, working way past their time to hold their position in the so-called corporate rat race. And I have to fight back the anxiety, being someone who has worked in my adult life for the last 35 years. And thank God I've worked in a sector or in a particular role. I work with young people, and I chose that role. You know what I mean? So thank God I'm working in a way where I get back some of the energy that I put out, you know? I chose to work with young people because I wanted to make a difference. And I want to make a difference. And I have made a difference, you know, in the lives of some of the young people that I have worked with over the decades. You know what I mean? So I've gotten, you know, some satisfaction, some gratitude, some appreciation, some respect. You know what I mean? From a lot of the young people that I have worked with. You know, thank God I've been able to get something, you know, back from the efforts, from the work that I have indulged myself in. Because I could just imagine, what if I totally hated my job? You know what I mean? And got nothing back, you know? Then I would be just as susceptible as many of my peers in society to seeking addictions and addictive behaviors, you know, that I could indulge in after working 40 plus or more hours in a job that gave me nothing back. I would probably be more susceptible, you know, to some form of addiction, you know what I mean, and addictive behaving. You know? But anyway, we show up for these jobs. We show up for the corporate rat race. We don't make no excuses, you know, because we know we would lose that job. We bust our behinds to be there on time. You know what I mean? We bust our behinds to do at least as much as it will take to keep those jobs. And we make no excuses for showing up for these jobs. But when it comes time to showing up for each other, we make excuses. We say things like life is lifing, you know? And we accept that from one another. You know, we accept that. Yeah, I know you're working. Yeah, I know you're busy. And we accept that from one another. This is why it takes for someone to die, or for the so-called hollow days. And I'm spelling that hollow days. HOLLOWDAZE. Hollow days. And this is not to disrespect anyone's affinity for the holidays. But to me, I hate commercial holidays, you know, because to me it lacks the sincerity, it lacks the integrity of people showing up for things that really matter to them. You know what I mean? A lot of times you show up for the day because it's the day. You know what I mean? Whether it's Valentine's Day or, you know, Thanksgiving just passed, you know, quote unquote Thanksgiving, you know, Christmas, you know, is around the corner. And a lot of times we show up for these things because it has a societal importance. But to me, the little things count. And the little things mean a lot to me. When someone reaches out to me just because on a random day, you know, those are the things that matter to me the most. I don't like trauma bonding. I like to strive to encourage and inspire us to come together to give evidence that we believe in ourselves and we believe in each other. You know, when I'm sick, I don't seek attention when I'm sick. You know? And I know that there are people who care about you or care about me, who want to be there for me when I'm down. But if we're not together when I'm up, you know what I mean? I don't want that attention when I'm down. You know what I mean? That's just the way I think. You know what I mean? I don't want people to come to my hospital bedside when I'm sick, when I'm down. When I'm up and I'm striving to reach out and I'm striving to encourage and I'm striving to text and make calls and things of that nature, we're not able to make time for each other. You know? For the best of ourselves and then others. To breathe life into relationships instead of allowing them to wither and get dry. You know what I mean? And now that I'm sick, you want to breathe life into a relationship that you've been ignoring. Like, no, that's not how it's supposed to happen. You know what I mean? So this is why a lot of times it takes for someone to die or someone to get sick. You know what I mean? For us to begin to come together and breathe life into long neglected relationships. You know what I mean? We have to begin to do better, man. We have to begin to do better, starting with ourselves. We need to take the time and make time for ourselves, for our own dreams, for our own aspirations, for our own health and well-being. You know what I mean? Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We need to treat ourselves as though we actually matter, you know, to no one else but ourselves. That's where it starts. And then when we begin to breathe life into our own lives and we treat ourselves the way we deserve to be treated, we show the self-love, the self-concern, the self-discipline, the self-mastery to empower our own lives as individuals. Then we can begin to show up in society and show up in the lives of family, of friends, you know what I mean, of neighbors and others, with the capacity to overflow encouragement, inspiration, true love, and concern, you know, and not let the conditions and the conditioning of society hold us back from giving the proper love and attention to people that we supposedly care about. You know what I mean? We got to make a stronger effort than that, because no one is promised tomorrow, as they say. And we don't know, you know, a lot of times people suffer in silence. And someone, again, will pass away and we'll sing the same old sad song. Why does it take for somebody to die before we come together? You know what I mean? We can do better and we must do better, you know, for ourselves and then others that we care about. Let's start bringing balance to the equation. Let's stop giving the best of ourselves without question to the corporate rat race and having, nothing left for ourselves and then those who matter to us. Let's stop making the excuse that life is lifing. You know what I mean? Let's stop accepting the excuse from those that we love and care about for them to tell us that life is lifing. People make time for things that they care about, that they really care about. They make time without excuse for things that they care about. Let's start caring for our lives and for the lives of those that we supposedly love, stronger, Love is a verb, as they say. It's an action word, We say it very easily, but a lot of times we don't show and prove through actions, through, intention, that we actually love someone. You know what I mean? So having said that, man, I'm going to end this message, I hope that you will take heed to this sharing. I hope that you will begin to show and prove that you actually do love yourself and that you are willing to show and prove that love, to yourself. And then it will become easier for you to overflow that love into the lives of those that you love, that you supposedly love and care about. All right. Peace and elevation, family.